allotment for Ephraim and Manasseh. Again, this is the Old Testament. When it comes to these words, I do my best in pronunciation. Some things I kind of know how to pronounce, and some things I don't. If you do know the correct pronunciation, say them. If you do know how they are correctly pronounced and you want to type them in the comments, please do so. I always read comments, and this is posted on the YouTube page. So just, if you know how to know how the correct pronunciation, like I said, just leave a comment or send a email for the email contacts on the contact page. The allotment for Joseph began at the Jordan of Jericho, east of the waters of Jericho, and went up from there through the desert into the hill country of Bethel. It went on from Bethel, that is Luz, crossed over to the territory of the Archites in Ataroth, descended westward to the territory of the Japhilites, as far as the region of Lower Beth Horon, and on to Gezer, ending at the sea. So where we left off was, remember, Joseph is now old in age. Joshua is now old of age. He's more mature. Didn't mean to say old, although it does say old, but he's more mature now. He's getting more mature in age, and the Lord's telling him he needs to start going ahead and divvying up the land, the promised land, because it was taking them a while to conquer the other nations that were living within the promised land. And so the Lord said, guess what? I'll go through the rest of the land and do the rest for you. But just go ahead and start divvying up the land before, it's your time. So that's what Josh was doing, and that's what we're going through. We're going through the allotments from each of the 12 tribes. So I remember the Levites, they didn't get an allotment because they belonged to the Lord. So they worked for the Lord in the temples and the tabernacles and such, and anywhere that they had set up worship for the Lord. So that's backstory. Let's continue to read. So Manasseh and Ephraim, the descendants of Joseph, received their inheritance. This was the territory of Ephraim, clan by clan. The boundary of their inheritance went from Ataroth Adar in the east to Upper Beth Horon and continued to the sea. From Mixim Mathath on the north, it curved eastward to Tanath Shiloh, passing by it to Janoah on the east. Then it went down from Janoah to Ataroth and Nera, touched Jericho, and came out at the Jordan. From Tapua, the border went west to the Kana ravine and ended at the sea. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Ephraimites, clan by clan. It also included all the towns and their villages that were set aside for the Ephraimites within the inheritance of the Manassites. They did not dislodge the Canaanites living in Gezer. To this day, the Canaanites live among the people of Ephraim, but are required to do forced labor. So, if you don't remember before, and especially in the previous Bible study, excuse me, the Lord told them to drive out all the nations. And if they did it, that those nations would be a stumbling block to Israel. So we're going to see, because obviously the tribes didn't listen, Israel didn't listen, and they didn't drive out all of the inhabitants of Canaan. So we'll see what happens. Let's continue to read. This was the allotment for the tribe of Manasseh as Joseph's firstborn. That is for Machir, Manasseh's firstborn. Machir was the ancestor of the Gileadites, who had received Gilead and Bashan because the Machirites were great soldiers. So this allotment was for the rest of the people of Manasseh, the clans of Abiezer, Helek, Azriel, Shechem, Hefer, and Shemitah. These are the other male descendants of Manasseh, son of Joseph, by their clans. Now Zelophehad, son of Hephar, the son of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, had no sons, but only daughters, whose names were Mahlah, Noah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Tirzah. They went to Eliezer the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and the leaders, and said, "The Lord commanded Moses to give us an inheritance among our brothers." So Joshua gave them an inheritance along with the brothers of their father, according to the Lord's command. Manasseh's share consisted of 10 tracts of land besides Gilead and Bashan east of the Jordan, because the daughters of the tribe of Manasseh received an inheritance among the sons. The land of Gilead belonged to the rest of the descendants of Manasseh. So a little bit of backstory on that is that there was an issue where it came to one of the families that it was true there was only daughters in the family. And so part of the rules, or part of the original laws that were given, was that only the sons, and so the daughters went to Moses and said, inquire of God of this type of situation. And so God gave him the answer, and he agreed. He said, no, that if certain situations happen and there's only daughters, that it should go to the daughters. And he left instructions for how land would be stay within each tribe, instead of other tribes and other clans obtaining parts of the promised land, that additional parts of the promised land. So he listened. So far what we read, and then bringing past into the present and future, this is divvying up the promised land clan by clan, and our understanding of a fulfillment. So a fulfillment with promises, with what the Lord says he's going to do, and that requires us listening and being patient. And so the Israelites didn't have the promised land overnight. It took some time to obtain the promised land. And so that's what we have to look at as well. Sometimes things can happen overnight for us, and that is awesome. That is a blessing. And so is when we're patient. That is also a blessing. And it's the same. It's the same whether we have to wait for it or if we get it immediately. It's all the same, as in a blessing and God's grace to us. And so that's something that we can think about in our own lives, whether it be a bonus, whether it be good things happening in our lives. We can be thankful because those are promises kept and promises told to us. Sometimes we're not listening. We're just praying. I know a lot of times, and including myself, like I said, I'm a sinner too. I try not to sin. I read the word. I try to walk with the Lord as much as possible, as much as I can try to, but I know I need to try harder. I need to do better. I need to try harder, do better for my life, period. Because we're here to love each other and love the Lord, love Jesus. And so when it comes to being patient and being thankful and grateful and understanding that when you do receive your blessing, all good things come from above. And I can definitely truly say that all good things come from above. Like I just mentioned, I went on a bike ride. I myself could not do what I currently am doing. There's no way. I know that fact, like for a fact. I know that energy and that strength and that endurance comes from the Lord. I pray about it. I ask Jesus for strength and endurance and energy, holy endurance, holy strength protection over my body, my lungs, my heart, and I'm able to complete a extensive ride. And that energy, I know I don't. I know when I was a kid, I would I would zoom throughout the neighborhoods on my bike. Could I zoom through the neighborhoods like that now myself? No, absolutely not. With the Lord though, let me tell you, the Lord can, you will be amazed at the blessing that the Lord will provide you. You pray for it, you ask it, you seek it, you listen for it, you're patient for it, and God will provide. He will provide, and your cup will overflow. He will provide more of a blessing than you ever realized or asked for. So, with all of that, including thoughts and feelings, what kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind over this information, this truth that we're reading, over how the clans and the tribes are now getting their inheritance, tribe by tribe, clan by clan? What kind of thoughts or feelings come to your mind? How does it make you feel, and what does it make you think?